this afternoon, and while I believe their motion to be incomplete, I am happy to assure them of our support for it tonight. Now, just days after I was elected, something strange began to happen in my constituency. I had a small but steady stream of people walking into my office with letters stapled to their prescriptions from doctors at the East Craigs medical practice. The letters were short, but amounted to something akin to a distress call. "Help us," they said. "Contact your MSP. We cannot go on like this." Members may find that story familiar, and they should do, because I have told it in nearly every debate about this GP crisis since I took my oath. I have told that story, and I have backed it up with representations to the Cabinet Secretary and to NHS Lothian. Nevertheless, irrespective of my work and the work of the partners at East Craigs, it emerged last week that they have had to hand back their contract to NHS Lothian and will be taken over by Barclays Medical Group. There will now be an element of disruption, a loss of local knowledge and relationships, and possibly even a reduction in out-of-surgery services. I want to put on record my thanks to the partners, doctors and staff at East Craigs for soldiering on so valiantly in the teeth of the worst crisis facing our surgery since the formation of the NHS. Fact is, Presiding Officer, that the pressures on East Craigs represent a microcosm of a story that is being played out in every constituency in this country. Increased demands on lists, compounded by the needs of an ageing population and worsened still by an inability to fill partner vacancies caused by widespread retirement. So I welcome the motion today put forward by the Conservatives and stand with them in their condemnation of a government that seems wholly unequal to this crisis in its reluctance to put local medical services at the heart of planning reform through workforce planning cycles of 5 years, which failed to recognise that it takes 7 years to train a GP, and in a failure to answer the issue of mental health in our constituencies, which still accounts for 1/4 of all GP appointments. Presiding Officer, this motion is timely, but as I said at the top of my remarks, it is incomplete. It conveniently fails to address the £600 gorilla in the wings that is the headlong rush of the Conservative Party into a hard Brexit. Put simply, Presiding Officer, Brexit has the potential to turbocharge our GP staffing crisis. Indeed, the Royal College of General Practitioners in this country said that if the 226 GPs from other EU countries working here were forced to leave, it would have grave consequences for patient safety. The uncertainty is already having a material impact on staffing levels. Doctors who might have come here are now put off. Those who are already working here are returning to other EU countries. And frustratingly, this uncertainty is far from necessary. The UK government could and should immediately guarantee the rights of all EU citizens who are already working here, recognising how important free movement is to our NHS. And I am quite certain, Deputy Presiding Officer, that nobody who voted leave in June last year did so on the basis that their local GP could well be deported. What makes this all the more pressing, Deputy Presiding Officer, is that irrespective of Brexit, by 2021, Scotland will need an additional 856 GPs. The Scottish Government have been staring this crisis in the face for years and still found wanting. The UK Government are now threatening to compound that with uncertainty for our European workforce. My party will not back down from calling either of them out in this regard. We owe a great deal to our primary care staff at all levels in our NHS. They are there when we need them, and the least they can expect is to have our support when they need us. Thank you.